This is the second generation of ILDAWaveX16. The core idea is still the same as with the first version. It is an open source, high-resolution laser DAC for laser enthusiasts, makers, and people who want to experiment with laser control. I recommend watching the first video for context if you haven't already, because that one goes deeper into the background of the platform and laser scanning in general. The biggest change compared to the original board is that V2 now uses two microcontrollers. The first one is again ESP-32S3, which serves as the main application processor. It handles the web interface, network connectivity, SD card playback, protocol parsing, configuration, and the general high-level control of the board. The second one is an RP2354, which is used as a real-time output processor. Its main job is to receive laser samples, buffer them, and drive the DAC with stable timing. I decided to use this split architecture because networking, web interfaces, file parsing, and protocol handling are not perfectly deterministic tasks. They can introduce delays or timing jitter, while laser output needs stable timing. So even though both processors are dual-core, and in theory some of this could be implemented on a single MCU, this approach is cleaner because it separates the user-facing features from the timing-critical output path. However, if at some point you prefer to drive everything directly from the ESP, you can bridge the 4 solder jumpers on the board, flash the RP with firmware that sets its GPIOs to high impedance, and then the ESP can drive the DAC directly. The board also exposes 6 unused GPIOs, 3 from each microcontroller, so if you want to add your own buttons, sensors, triggers, indicators, or other custom hardware, there is some room for expansion. The output stage is still based around an 8-channel 16-bit DAC, followed by an analog conditioning op-amp circuit. The outputs are available on the standard ILDA DB25 connector and also on JST-XH connectors if you want to wire the board directly into a laser or galvo kit. Another important change is Ethernet. The ESP already has Wi-Fi, but for real-time streaming, wired Ethernet is usually a much better option. Since this version of the ESP doesn't include an Ethernet MAC or PHY, I'm using a W5500 SPI Ethernet controller, which supports up to 100 megabit Ethernet. This gives the board a more stable network connection, especially compared to Wi-Fi. Power over Ethernet is not directly supported on the board, but if you want to use it with PoE, I recommend using an external PoE splitter with USB-C output like this one. The USB-C port is used to power the board and also for data transfer and programming. Since there are 2 microcontrollers, both are connected to the same USB-C connector to keep the board smaller. Depending on the orientation of the USB-C cable, the port connects either to the ESP or to the RP. So if you plug it in and the wrong MCU shows up on your computer, just unplug the cable, rotate it 180 degrees, and plug it in again. Before I talk about the firmware, I want to be clear about the current state of the project. Just like the first version, this board is meant to be a hackable development platform. The goal is to make it easier for people to experiment with laser scanning, understand the hardware, and work with the low-level parts of laser control. The current firmware is still under development. It already supports multiple playback and streaming protocols, but it does not yet achieve fast, completely error-free output in all cases. So this is not a finished commercial laser product. The firmware may contain bugs, and some parts still need optimization, but it is open source so people can study and improve it and move the project forward together as a community. The firmware is split into 2 projects. One project is for the ESP and the other one is for the RP. The ESP firmware is built with ESP-IDF. It runs the web dashboard, networking, SD card playback, protocol servers, and sends sample packets to the RP. The RP firmware is built with the Raspberry Pi Pico SDK, and it receives the sample packets, manages the ring buffer, and drives the DAC. The 2 processors communicate through SPI, UART, and the ready signal. SPI is used for high-speed sample transfer, UART is used for commands and status, and the ready signal is used as hardware flow control, so the RP can tell the ESP when it is ready to accept more data. When you connect to the board over the network, it starts a web server with a user interface where you can control and monitor the board. The dashboard shows live metrics and settings. You can change the output sample rate, mirror the X or Y axis, and configure buffer parameters like buffer size, high and low watermarks. In the Network tab, you can configure the different network modes. Ethernet is always active, but you can also use Wi-Fi access point mode or connect the board to your existing Wi-Fi network using station mode. The Diagnostics tab gives access to counters and status information, which is useful for debugging at this stage. You can check playback state, buffer fill, underruns, payload errors, dropped packets, and other internal counters. There is also an inbuilt test stream generator, so you can output test patterns even if you do not have external laser software connected. Under SD playback, you can select and play ILDA files from the SD card. When playback is active, you can still change the sample rate from the dashboard or enable X and Y mirroring. The image is deforming at higher sample rates in my demo because my galvanometers are not suitable for very high speeds. The DAC may be outputting points faster, but the scanners still have physical limits. Under protocols, you can enable or disable the individual protocols that are currently implemented. The first playback option is SD card playback, which is enabled by default. Then there are network protocols. The first one is ILDA IDN together with the IDN Hello Discovery service. I tested this with a free software called Laser ShowGen. The next one is EtherDream, which I tested using a trial version of Module Laser. There is also a custom ILDAWave protocol, which is designed as a simpler high-speed protocol for testing. I tested that one using a Python sender. Since both processors have native USB, I also experimented with USB protocols. As a proof of concept, I implemented the Helios-style USB protocol, so the board was able to emulate the Helios DAC, be recognized by compatible software, and receive point data over USB. Because of licensing restrictions, I cannot publish that implementation, but it just proves that the hardware can support custom USB protocols if you prefer USB streaming instead of network. As I mentioned earlier, the network protocols work as a proof of concept implementations, but they are not fully optimized yet. At higher output rates, they can still be unstable, so this is one of the main areas that needs more work. The firmware is open source and shared on my GitHub, so feel free to play with it, modify it, and build on top of it. I was already amazed by the contributions people made to the first version, so I'm sure the community can help make this one even better. In fact, I'm structuring the firmware so it can be built for both V1 and V2 from the same shared codebase. Regarding hardware, I'm releasing the V2 schematic for reference. If you are interested in a fully open hardware design, you can check out V1, which has the complete KiCad design files available. If you want to know more, you can read the full documentation on my website, and don't forget to join the Discord community. Thanks for watching and see you next time.